The night sky above Earth looked peaceful, but peace was only an illusion. Stars shined like tiny candles. The moon glowed faintly, and the air felt calm. Yet beneath this silence, satellites picked up signals no one wanted to see. Strange movements flickered beyond the outer rim. Numbers appeared on hidden screens, and military operators stared at them in disbelief. Inside a control room, the atmosphere was tense. "Are you seeing this?" whispered one young officer, his voice almost breaking. "That's not a drill. Those signatures are real." An older commander leaned forward, his face pale. "It's them," he muttered. "The galaxy has finally struck first, across the planet." News agencies scrambled to report the strange sightings, but most leaders remained quiet in government halls. Officials argued about whether to warn the public. Some wanted to calm people, others wanted to prepare. Panic spread quickly through whispers. "Aliens are here," some said. "We are not ready." But somewhere far from the noise of politics, a small team of scientists in an underground base already knew the truth. They had been preparing for years, long before the world believed aliens existed. One of them, Dr. Hayes, stood in front of a sealed door deep beneath the ocean floor. His hands shook as he pressed a code. "It's happening sooner than we thought," he said, his voice tight. "The failsafe must be activated." The door slid open with a grinding sound, revealing a chamber filled with strange machines. Huge towers of steel hummed quietly, glowing faint blue as the power surged back to life. Dust fell from the ceiling. "We hid them for this moment," Dr. Hayes whispered. "Humanity won't fall without a fight." Above the ocean, life continued as if nothing was happening. Families ate dinner, children played, lovers walked under the stars. None of them knew alien fleets were slowly approaching the edge of the solar system. The sky still looked calm, but in space, shadows moved like a storm. In the alien flagship, a tall figure stood before a massive window. His skin shimmered with scales, his eyes glowed faint gold. "Earth is primitive," he said coldly. "They have no fleet, no power. Their world will burn before they realize what has struck them." His generals bowed, confident of an easy victory, back on Earth, inside a mountain bunker. A group of pilots were called without warning. They rushed in, confused. "Why us?" One asked. "We aren't even on active duty." A stern colonel answered without hesitation. "Because you were chosen long ago. You were trained for something the world doesn't know. Now it's time." The pilots exchanged nervous glances. "Chosen for what?" One whispered. The colonel pointed to a hidden hangar door. It rumbled open slowly, revealing rows of sleek black ships, unlike anything the pilots had seen before. "These aren't in the history books," the colonel said. "They were built in silence, tested in secret and kept off record. When the sky falls." "These are Earth's answer." One young pilot stepped closer, his hand brushing against the hull of the strange craft. "It doesn't even look human-made," he whispered. "Where did this come from?" The colonel's eyes narrowed. "That's not a question you need to ask right now. What matters is that you fly them, you fight, and you protect this planet far above." Telescopes caught the first sight of the alien fleet. The images were sent across networks, and the world froze. Dark shapes blotted out stars, their massive hulls glowing with unnatural energy. Fear spread. People screamed in the streets. "We're doomed," voices cried. "We can't stop them." But in the shadows, hidden forces were already moving. In the desert, old hangars opened, revealing massive cannons. In the Arctic, buried silos powered up with deep humming. And beneath the ocean, machines older than most governments roared to life. Humanity's secret was unfolding. Dr. Hayes watched as the systems lit up one by one. "They thought we were weak," he said softly. "But they never saw what we built while they laughed at us." His assistant, pale with fear, asked, "Will it be enough?" Hayes didn't answer. Instead, he stared at the monitors showing the approaching fleet. His silence was answer enough. On the alien flagship, alarms echoed. "Something is wrong," one officer growled. "Earth's energy readings are rising. They are not as powerless as we believed." The commander frowned, his golden eyes narrowing. "Impossible, they are a young species. They cannot hide such strength." But the readings continued to climb. and unease spread among the crew. Back on Earth, the young pilot strapped into his seat. His heart pounded, sweat clung to his forehead. "I can't believe this," he whispered. "We're really going to war?" The colonel's voice came through the headset. Steady and cold, "Remember, you are not fighting for glory. You are fighting for survival, for every human who still sleeps unaware of what's coming. Do not fail them," the engines roared. The hangar shook, and one by one the secret fleet rose into the air. Their dark silhouettes vanished into the night sky. Unseen by those below, the world thought the sky was silent. But now it was alive with power as the first alien ships entered orbit. They expected no resistance, but far below, Earth was no longer the helpless planet they believed. Machines awoke, ships launched, and soldiers prepared. The silence of the sky had ended. The war had begun, deep beneath the waves. Where sunlight never touched, a hidden base rumbled awake. For decades it had slept in silence, guarded by salt, stone, and pressure. Now the sound of heavy gears echoed through the dark halls. Lights flickered to life one by one, revealing endless corridors of steel. Dr. Hayes stood before a glowing console, his reflection trembling in the screen's light. "Systems are stable," reported his assistant. A young man with fear in his eyes, "but power levels are spiking fast. This place hasn't been active in years." Hayes clenched his jaw. "It doesn't matter. We knew this day would come. Activate the defense grid." Alarms pulsed gently through the base. Red lights sweeping across long-forgotten machinery in massive water-filled chambers. Strange crafts stirred, their hulls black and sharp. Silent drones glided through the currents, carrying codes and signals to hidden stations across the globe. "It feels alive," whispered the assistant, "like it's been waiting for us." Meanwhile, on the surface, governments argued. In the capital, leaders shouted in panic. "We cannot fight them," one minister cried. "Their fleet is too large. Our weapons will fail." Another slammed his hand on the table. "Then tell the truth. Tell the world what's really happening." But the president stayed quiet, her eyes dark. She knew something the others didn't. Moments later, a secure line connected to the underground base. Hayes appeared on the hologram, his face stern. "Madam President, Phase 1 has begun. The ocean systems are online. The alien fleet will not find us sleeping." Gasps filled the room. Officials exchanged horrified glances. "What is Phase 1? One demanded, "Why were we not told?" The president's voice cut through the noise, calm but sharp. "Because knowledge is dangerous. Only a few of us were meant to know. Now you see why, back under the ocean." Hayes watched monitors fill with strange readings. Alien signals bounced across the solar system. Strong and sharp, his assistant whispered. "They're scanning us. Can they see the base?" Hayes shook his head. "Not yet. Our shield tech bends their senses, but it won't last forever. We must be ready to strike first, far in space." Inside the alien command ship, unease spread. "Commander," hissed one officer, "the humans are emitting patterns we cannot read. Something stirs beneath their seas." The golden-eyed leader snarled. "Deception. That world is fragile. Crush their cities and they will kneel. Nothing they hide can stand against us. Still." A flicker of doubt crossed his face. Back on Earth, the pilots prepared inside the mountain base. One of them, a woman named Carter, tightened her gloves. Her voice low. "This feels wrong. Why were we kept in the dark all these years?" Another pilot laughed nervously. "Would you have believed them? Aliens, secret fleets, machines under the ocean? We'd have called them insane." Carter nodded, but her eyes stayed hard. "Maybe, but now the truth has teeth. And it's biting back." Engines roared as the secret ships powered up. The hangar shook, dust falling from the ceiling. The colonel barked orders. "Remember your training. The world doesn't know you exist. You fail. Humanity falls. You succeed. And no one will ever laugh at this planet again." The pilots exchanged a look, half fear, half determination, and stepped into their vessels. Meanwhile, Dr. Hayes entered a chamber few had seen. A massive control chair stood at the center, wires stretching like veins into the walls. He lowered himself into it, screens wrapping around him. "You're really doing it?" the assistant asked in awe. "You're linking with the core system." Hayes nodded. "This base isn't just machines, it's a mind, and someone has to guide it." As the neural link engaged, Hayes gasped. A flood of information hit him. He saw through drones racing beneath the waves, through turrets hidden under frozen seas, through weapons buried in deserts. All were connected, all waiting for his command. His voice echoed through the system. We are awake. Above Earth, alien ships shifted into position. Massive cannons glowed, their power gathering. Prepare the strike, ordered the alien commander. End this planet before it resists further. Suddenly, his screens flashed with unexpected energy. Strange pulses surged from beneath the oceans, rising into the sky. What is this? He shouted. Where is it coming from? On Earth, chaos broke out as the first alien blasts rained down. Cities shook, fires spread, but then, from the oceans, beams of pure light tore upward, slicing through the dark void. One alien ship exploded instantly, then another. Direct hits, Hayes muttered through clenched teeth, sweat pouring down his face as he guided the systems. We're not prey anymore, the alien fleet staggered back. Confusion and fear spreading, their weapons. They pierce our shields, one officer cried. The commander's golden eyes burned with fury. Impossible! How could they build such power? No answer came. Only the sight of human weapons tearing into his fleet. Back in the mountain base, Carter's voice rang over comms. We're launching! Engines screamed as the first squadron of human ships soared into the sky, sleek shadows cutting through the night. Civilians below looked up, pointing at the strange craft, unaware their survival depended on those inside. The president stood on the balcony of her command center. Watching the flashes in orbit, her advisor whispered, The world will demand answers when this is over. She nodded slowly. And they will get them. But first we survive. Earth will not bow. Not today, deep under the ocean. Hayes felt his body weaken as the system drained his strength. His assistant shouted, Stop! You can't hold this connection forever. Hayes gave a weak smile. I don't need forever. Just long enough to show them humanity was never as weak as they believed. His voice echoed across the base, across the comms, across the battlefield. Let the galaxy know. Earth fights back. The alien fleet, once confident, now hesitated. Shadows of doubt crept into their perfect order. And in that hesitation, Earth struck again. Louder, harder, more defiant. The silent world had spoken, and its voice thundered through the stars. The alien fleet moved closer, their giant ships blotting out the stars from Earth. They looked like a storm of shadows swallowing the night sky. Fear spread through cities. People crowded in the streets, pointing upward with trembling hands. They're here, someone whispered. The end has come. Inside the alien flagship, the commander stood tall, his golden eyes glowing with pride. Begin the assault, he ordered. Crush their defenses before they even realize war has started. The command deck shook as beams of raw energy powered up. One by one, alien weapons locked on Earth's major cities. In Washington, alarms blared. Red lights painted the halls of the underground bunker. The president's voice rang out. Steady despite the chaos. Hold positions. Phase 2 will engage on my order, an advisor shouted. But their cannons are ready. They will fire in seconds. The president raised her hand, her eyes cold. So will we, deep beneath the ocean, Doctor. Hayes tightened his grip on the control chair. His veins burned as the neural link pushed more data through his mind. They're aiming at us, his assistant cried. They'll hit Earth before we can respond, Hayes gritted his teeth. Not if I strike first, his voice echoed through the system. Fire! From under the waves. Beams of light shot into the sky, piercing clouds like spears of fire. They struck alien ships in orbit, blasting holes through their armor. 2 vessels exploded instantly, fire scattering into the void. The oceans boiled from the power unleashed. A cheer rose in the control room. But Hayes stayed calm. Don't celebrate yet. They're still coming, the alien commander snarled. Shields up, return fire, his voice roared across the deck. Alien cannons unleashed devastating blasts toward Earth. A city skyline lit up in flames, towers crumbling as the ground shook. The humans watching screamed, some prayed, others cried. But then something unexpected happened. From a desert base, massive silos opened. Rockets roared into the sky, leaving trails of fire behind in the Arctic. Giant cannons hidden beneath ice cracked open, sending thunder into the heavens from mountains long thought empty. Sleek black ships launched into orbit. Soldiers and pilots who had been silent for years now revealed their power. The Earth itself seemed to fight back. In a mountain hangar, Colonel Briggs barked orders. "Launch the fleet, no hesitation." Pilots scrambled. Climbing into their craft, engines roared, and the hangar shook as the ships lifted into the sky. Carter's voice came through the comms. "Calm but firm. This is Eagle 1, engines hot." "Taking formation," another pilot answered. "Eagle 2 ready. Let's show them Earth is not prey." As the secret fleet rose into the darkness, alien scanners locked onto them. "Commander," an officer cried, "they have warships." "Dozens of them," the alien leader snarled in disbelief. "Primitive vessels. Destroy them at once." Yet when the first volley of alien fire met human ships, something shocking occurred. The human vessels moved with precision, dodging beams and striking back with weapons no alien expected. When railgun fired, it slugged tearing through the side of a massive cruiser. The alien ship split apart, fire pouring from its core. A second vessel fell moments later, ripped apart by missiles that bent mid-flight, as if guided by unseen hands. Confusion spread among the invaders. Their technology, how did they build this? Officers shouted. Back in the bunker, the president watched the battle feeds. Her eyes widened as human ships cut through the enemy. "It's working," an advisor said with awe. "We're pushing them back." But the president only whispered, "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will never forgive us for fighting back." In orbit, the battle raged like a storm. Carter gripped her controls, her ship shaking as beams passed inches away. "Stay tight," she ordered. "Don't let them divide us." Her squadron weaved through the chaos. Missiles streaking past, alien fighters swarmed. Sharp and fast, one clipped her wing, sending sparks across her cockpit. "I'm hit," she gasped. "But I'm still flying." Nearby, another pilot's voice crackled. "They're everywhere." "We can't hold." Carter steadied her breathing. "Yes, we can. Focus on formation. We fight together." She dove through enemy lines, her weapons blazing. 2 alien fighters exploded behind her. Her squadron cheered, their spirits lifted. On the alien flagship, the commander's pride cracked into anger. "How?" he hissed. "How does this broken world resist us?" His officers cowered. "They are using weapons we cannot scan. They are unpredictable." The commander's golden eyes burned. "Then we destroy their command centers, strike harder. Show them no mercy, back under the ocean." Hayes groaned as his body weakened. The neural link drained him. But he forced the system to keep firing. "We're breaking them," his assistant said. "Their ships are falling." Hayes shook his head weakly. "Not enough. They still outnumber us 10-1. We need something more." His eyes flickered toward a sealed section of the base. "Maybe it's time." The assistant frowned. "Time for what?" Hayes didn't answer. Instead, he pushed the command deeper into the system. The sealed doors trembled, ancient machines waking from their long slumber. A new hum filled the ocean, louder than before. "This," Hayes whispered, "this will change everything." Above, the human fleet pressed forward, their hidden strength revealed. Cities burned, but not in silence. They burned while their defenders rose from shadows long kept secret. The world was no longer helpless. The galaxy's first strike had met its first true resistance. As explosions painted the sky and fire lit the oceans, the people of Earth realized something incredible. They were not just surviving, they were fighting back. And for the first time in history, humanity's voice roared across the stars. The battle in orbit burned across the night sky. Cities below watched in fear as streaks of fire tore through the heavens. Alien ships swarmed like locusts, but the humans fought back with strange precision. Weapons that should not have existed roared to life. Each blast shook the galaxy's confidence on the alien flagship. The commander's golden eyes narrowed as his officers cried out. "Our scanners cannot read their weapons," one shouted. "Their energy is cloaked." It's as if their ships are ghosts. The commander slammed his clawed hand against the console. Impossible. No primitive world could hide from our scans. Another officer shook his head. Yet they do, and their weapons cut through our shields like nothing we have seen back on Earth. Colonel Briggs barked into the comms. Keep pressing. Don't let them regroup, Carter's voice came through. Her tone fierce. Their fighters are fast, but they're blind to us. We move like shadows. Her squadron sliced through enemy lines. Their black ships weaving in and out like wraiths. To alien eyes, they seemed to vanish and reappear without warning. Dr. Hayes felt the bass humming deeper, stronger. The neural link burned through his body, but he refused to let go. They don't understand us, he whispered. They cannot predict us. That is our strength. His assistant frowned. Why? The technology should be centuries ahead of ours. Hayes gave a tired smile. Because these weapons were never meant for them to understand. Decades ago, humanity had stumbled on fragments, pieces of ships that had fallen silently from the stars. While the world believed in myths and rumors, a secret group of scientists had rebuilt those fragments, twisted them into something new. They had taken alien secrets and bent them to human will, but hidden them behind layers of codes and traps. Now, when the invaders tried to scan, they found nothing but shadows. On the battlefield, alien ships tried to adapt. They changed frequencies, shifted tactics, but every time they moved, human weapons struck harder. Railguns fired with deadly precision, missiles bent around defenses, beams of light cracked through armor. One alien officer gasped. Their weapons. They act alive. The commander's rage deepened. No weapon is alive. Destroy them all. Carter's ship shuddered as fire grazed her wing. Sparks filled the cockpit. I'm hit, she called. Another pilot answered. Eagle 3 here. I've got your back. Together they cut through 2 alien fighters. Their teamwork smooth and silent. Carter's breathing steadied. We're ghosts to them. Remember that. Strike fast. Vanish. Strike again. Below, in the President's command center, advisors argued. We cannot keep this hidden, one said. The people must know how we built these weapons. Another shook his head. If they learn the truth, panic will spread. Some will call it forbidden. Some will call it theft. The President raised her hand for silence. It doesn't matter how we built them. What matters is this: Earth is not prey. The alien commander paced his deck, fury boiling. They are mocking us, he growled. Find their source. Find their control. His officers scrambled, scanning oceans, deserts, mountains, but every attempt returned nothing. It is like chasing smoke, one muttered. The commander's claws dug into the metal floor. Then burn the smoke, burn everything. In the ocean base, alarms blared. Hayes gasped as pressure built in the system. They're trying to break in, his assistant shouted. Their scans are pushing against our shields. Hayes groaned. Let them try. These systems were built from their own mistakes. Every time they scan us, they feed us data. His eyes glowed faintly as the neural link burned brighter. We're learning them faster than they can learn us. Above, alien cruisers lined up for a coordinated strike. Their cannons glowed with terrifying light. Carter's squadron braced. Here it comes, she said through clenched teeth. The sky ignited as beams tore down, yet before they struck, human ships vanished from scanners. The beams hit empty space, leaving alien officers stunned. They disappeared, one cried. How? Seconds later, explosions ripped through the alien formation. Missiles burst from nowhere. Railguns pierced their cores. Human ships had slipped beneath their sensors, moving like ghosts in the dark. We're not fighting ships, an alien officer stammered. We're fighting phantoms. The commander's fury turned to fear, but he would not show it. No, he growled. They bleed. They are flesh. Find their weakness. His voice was strong, yet in his heart. Doubt spread. He had seen empires fall to strange truths, and now he wondered if Earth was one of them. Carter's laugh crackled over comms, not from joy but defiance. They can't touch us. They don't understand us. We're showing them what Earth is. Her squadron echoed her pride, weaving through the enemy like hunters in a storm. Each kill spread more terror through alien ranks. On Earth's surface, crowds watched the skies. Their fear turned to awe as alien ships began to fall, burning trails cutting across the horizon. Children pointed upward, shouting, "We're winning!" Families clung together, hope lighting their eyes for the first time. Humanity's ghosts had become their shield. Back under the ocean, Hayes felt his strength slipping. His assistant begged. "You'll die if you push further," Hayes whispered. "If I fall, the system lives. That's all that matters." His voice echoed through the neural link, not just to machines, but to every pilot. "Remember, you are the unseen. You are the shadow they fear." The alien commander stared at the collapsing battlefield. His fleet that once stretched across the stars was breaking apart. For the first time, he felt something he had never known. Not anger, not pride, but fear. "This world," he muttered. It was never sleeping. As Earth's weapons struck again, louder and brighter, the truth spread across the galaxy. Messages raced to distant worlds, whispers carried by broken signals. They all said the same thing. The humans have ghosts, and they do not fight like anyone else. The war in orbit raged like fire across the sky. But for the first time, it was not one-sided. Alien ships that once moved with perfect discipline now stumbled in chaos. Their fleets clashed against human forces that fought like shadows, striking hard, then vanishing into the dark. In the alien flagship, the commander slammed his fist against the console. "Hold formation!" he roared, but his voice was drowned by panicked officers. "Our cruisers are breaking! Our lines are scattered!" one cried. Another shouted, "Their weapons pierce everything, our shields mean nothing." The commander's golden eyes blazed. "Then fight harder, fight until their planet burns." Yet even as he spoke, doubt crept into the hearts of his warriors. Far below, in the mountain bunker, the president studied the live feeds. Her advisors argued in frantic voices. "We should call for surrender before they destroy us completely," one said. "No!" Another shouted, "Look at the battle! We are pushing them back." The president raised her hand, silencing them. "We do not beg," she said firmly. "Earth stands, and Earth fights." In orbit, Carter's squadron cut through another wave of alien fighters. Her voice was steady, though her hands shook. "Stay close, we're turning the tide," an exhausted pilot answered. "I can't believe it. We're winning against them." Carter narrowed her eyes. "Not yet, but soon." Inside the ocean base, Dr. Hayes felt the strain of the neural link growing heavier. His assistant begged him, "You can't keep this up, you'll die." Hayes coughed, his voice weak. "I'll hold as long as I must. The system is ours now. It listens to me. It listens to all of us." His eyes glowed faintly, the machines responding to his will like extensions of his own body. Alien ships tried to regroup, but mistrust spread among them. On their command decks, officers shouted at one another, "Where is support? Why did our flank fail?" Another snarled, "You held back your fire. You want us to die." Rumors of betrayal spread quickly. Soldiers who once obeyed without question now hesitated. Humanity's strange fight had planted fear and suspicion inside their unity. Carter's squadron pressed harder, weaving through the confusion. "Look at them," she said over comms. "They're breaking apart. They're not invincible anymore." Her squadron cheered, voices lifting. "For Earth," one shouted. "For everyone down there," another added. The sky burned with their determination. In the alien flagship, the commander's voice cracked with rage. "Silence your doubts," he screamed. "We are the galaxy's empire. We cannot fall to a single world." But even as he shouted, he saw his fleet shrinking, more ships exploding in fire, more crews refusing orders. For the first time, he felt something new, fear of defeat. Back in the bunker, the president's aide whispered, "They're faltering. This is our chance." The president nodded slowly. "Then strike harder. Show them Earth's resolve. Show them we are not prey." She turned to the generals. "No half measures. Push everything we have." Orders spread across hidden bases. New weapons rose from deserts, mountains, and oceans. Humanity revealed more secrets with every passing minute. On the battlefield, alien officers shouted desperately. Their attacks never stop. They fight with fire and trickery. They fight like us, but worse. Another whispered, not worse, different, unpredictable. The commander snarled, then we must destroy their leaders, break their will. But deep inside, he wondered if Earth even had a single leader. They fought like thousands of leaders bound together. In orbit, Carter's ship shook violently, a beam clipping her tail. I'm losing control, she gasped. Another pilot rushed to cover her. Hold on, I've got you. Together they flew through enemy fire. Carter steadied her ship with gritted teeth. I won't fall, not here, not now. She unleashed a volley of missiles that tore through an alien cruiser. The explosion lit the battlefield, hope spreading with its fire. Back in the ocean base, Hayes groaned, his body trembling. His assistant clutched his arm. Please, stop. You're going to kill yourself, Hayes whispered through clenched teeth. If Earth lives, then my life is a fair price. His voice reached across the neural link, touching every pilot, every soldier. You are the storm. You are the turning tide. Do not stop. The alien commander's officers looked at him with doubt. Some avoided his gaze, afraid to speak. Others whispered about retreat. He slammed his fist again, sparks flying. Cowards, we do not retreat from savages. But even as he said it, another explosion rocked his fleet. His empire was bleeding. On Earth's surface, the people gathered in the streets, watching the battle unfold on giant screens. Fear had turned to awe, and awe turned to pride. Strangers embraced, tears streaming. Children pointed to the sky, shouting, "We're fighting back!" For the first time, the human spirit blazed brighter than fear. Carter's voice rose over the comms, fierce and sharp. "We're not done. We'll push them out. This is our home." Her squadron roared back in unison, for Earth. Together they dove once more into the fire, their ships glowing like sparks of hope against the endless dark. The alien commander stared at the broken remains of his once mighty fleet. His voice shook as he muttered, "This was supposed to be easy. A strike, a burn, a victory. Now his empire would hear of this shame. The galaxy would whisper of Earth, not as prey but as a rising storm." And in that moment humanity's fate shifted. The tide had turned. The invaders no longer held the skies alone. For the first time, the galaxy saw Earth not as weak, but as something far more dangerous, a world that would fight to the very last breath. The battlefield above Earth burned brighter than any sunrise. Alien ships scattered like broken glass across the black sky, but still they pressed on. Even in defeat, they refused to let go of victory. The human fleet fought fiercely, yet exhaustion weighed heavy. Ammunition thinned, fuel dropped, and pilots pushed their limits. In the ocean base, Dr. Hayes was pale, sweat pouring down his face as the neural link drained his strength. His assistant begged, "Please disconnect." "You've done enough." Hayes shook his head weakly. "No, not yet. They'll keep coming until we end this war. We need more than shadows. We need the revelation." His voice cracked, but his eyes blazed with determination. High in orbit, Carter's ship wove through fire. Her voice came through the comms, strained but strong. "We're holding. But we can't keep this up forever." "They'll outlast us," another pilot growled. "Then what do we do?" "We've thrown everything at them," Carter's jaw tightened. "Then maybe it's time they see what we've been hiding." In the president's command bunker, alarms screamed, generals shouted over one another. "Our fleets are thinning, casualties rising." The president raised her hand. "Silence." She turned to a secure console, her voice cold. "Prepare the Ark protocol." Gasps filled the room. An aide whispered, "You can't. It's only theory." The president's eyes hardened. "It's not theory anymore. It's survival, far in space." The alien commander glared at the weakening human fleet. His golden eyes glowed with cruel satisfaction. "They resist, yes, but resistance cannot last. They will break." and their planet will burn. Prepare for the final strike. His officers bowed. Yet some whispered, they hide too much, their secrets keep unfolding. The commander silenced them with a growl. Secrets do not save the weak back under the ocean. The sealed chamber shook as ancient locks disengaged. Hayes whispered, "It's ready." The assistant's voice shook. "What is it?" Hayes placed his trembling hand on the console. "The Ark fleet. Humanity's last answer." The floor rumbled as massive doors opened beneath the sea. Water roared into hidden hangars, and from the darkness rose ships larger than any human eye had seen. They were not small fighters or defensive cannons, they were warships. Silent giants built to remain hidden until this moment. Carter's squadron gasped as their radars lit up. "What is that?" One pilot cried, "Where did they come from?" Carter's breath caught as massive black silhouettes rose from the oceans. Breaking the waves like mountains, engines roared, and the sea boiled as the Ark fleet ascended. "By God," she whispered, "they kept this from even us." In the bunker, the president's voice rang clear. "To every soldier, every pilot, hear me now. What you see rising is not a myth, it is the Ark fleet, built in silence. Built for the day the galaxy struck, today is that day. You do not fight alone anymore." Cheers erupted across comms. Hope surged where despair had lived. On the alien flagship, panic spread. Officers shouted, "New vessels detected, massive in scale. Their readings are beyond our sensors," another cried. "Their energy signatures are wrong, nothing matches. We cannot predict their power." The commander's claws dug into the floor. No, this is impossible. They are a young world. They cannot have this." Yet his voice trembled as the massive warships aligned into formation. The Ark fleet moved with terrifying precision. Their cannons glowed like suns. Hayes's voice echoed through the comms. "Weak but unyielding, this is the revelation. You thought us weak, you thought us blind. But we have always been watching, always preparing." Carter's squadron fell into formation beside the giants. Her voice shook with awe. "We're not just ghosts anymore. We're the storm!" The Ark fleet fired. Beams of unimaginable energy cut through space. Alien cruisers shattered instantly. Whole formations vanished in a flash. The battlefield fell silent for a heartbeat. Then chaos erupted. The alien commander roared, "Retreat is not an option. Destroy those ships." His fleet launched everything they had. Missiles, beams, and fighters swarmed. But the Ark fleet absorbed the fire, with shields layered in strange energy. Then struck back with fury. More alien ships crumbled, their pieces falling into the void on Earth. People looked to the skies as fire lit the heavens. They saw not doom but power. Their world had teeth, and it was biting back strangers embraced. Voices rose in chants. "Earth fights, Earth lives." In the ocean base, Hayes' body shook violently. His assistant screamed. "You're killing yourself," Hayes whispered. "Then let me die with purpose." His eyes glowed as he pushed the system to its limit. The Ark fleet responded, firing in perfect rhythm. Each blast tore deeper into the alien armada. On the alien flagship, fear finally broke discipline. Some officers shouted for retreat, others for surrender. The commander's roar shook the deck. "We are the Empire. We do not run from savages." Yet even as he spoke, another explosion shook his vessel. His pride turned to dread as he realized the truth. "This war was lost," Carter's voice echoed. Strong and proud. "Look at them, they're running. The tide is ours." Across the comms, pilots cheered. Humanity's spirit roared louder than any weapon. The Ark fleet advanced, forcing the invaders farther and farther from Earth. The president stood tall in the bunker, her eyes unblinking. "The galaxy will never forget this day," she said. "They came to break us. But we revealed the truth. Earth is no longer prey. Earth is power." Her words echoed across every screen, every radio, filling hearts with fire. As the alien fleet broke apart, limping into retreat, Hayes let go of the console, his body collapsing. His assistant caught him, tears in his eyes. "You did it." Hayes gave a faint smile. "No, humanity did it together." His eyes closed, the hum of the machines fading to silence. Above, the battlefield fell quiet. Alien wrecks drifted through space, and the Ark fleet stood like silent guardians. Carter looked at the stars, her voice low. "They'll come again, maybe stronger. But now they know the truth. We are not weak. We never were, and across the galaxy, whispers spread faster than light. The humans had revealed their secret, and it had changed everything. A young world had risen, and the stars would never look the same again.